Ladies and gents, PepperBelly here, and I'm bringing you guys some Dirty Bomb, a brand new game that came out just yesterday. That's a complete lie. This game is actually kind of old. Came out like 2 weeks ago. Plenty of YouTubers have already covered it, and to be honest, when I first saw and or heard of it, I didn't really care. And I mean, I wasn't interested, right? I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I didn't give a shit. This game looked so average. But I mean, when I looked at it, I just thought it looked kind of like this weird kind of Team Fortress 2 style knockoff, where the characters are kind of goofy, you know, they're not realistic in any way. Especially considering, you know, me, I'm a guy who plays like realistic games. That's the kind of shooters I enjoy. I also enjoy, you know, crazy Twitch shooters. I play Unreal Tournament, and I appreciate games of all genres. Or all different types of shooters. And when I saw this, I was kind of just like, alright, you know, I didn't, you know, like I said, I wasn't too interested in it. Until I started looking at my friends list and seeing that lots of people were playing it. And a lot of people were investing a lot of hours into it. So I was, you know, naturally intrigued. I'm like, it's a free-to-play game, it's an open beta currently, and it's on Steam. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna decide to download it. Like, what's the harm, right? I'm gonna give it a shot at least. Well, pleasantly surprised. This game is insanely fun. The tutorial you do at the very beginning when you start up the game, and you run through the general understanding of how to play it, the objectives, the way everything works in the game, the class system, the mercs, everything. Once you figure that out, I mean, I thought the tutorial was really well done. And immediately, like the second it put me in the game, in the tutorial, and I was able to run around and like get a feel for how the game feels, I realized that this is like amazing. This is going to be so fun to play, and I was like, okay, I want to get into some actual multiplayer action now and see exactly how this plays out. So if you guys aren't familiar, this game is made by Splash Damage. Those are the same developers that created Brink. Now, Brink was an utter failure. I remember when it came out, it looked interesting. It was like this unique kind of shooter. It wasn't super unique, but it kind of did things in an interesting way. And people were kind of intrigued by that, but then when they played it and they tried it, a lot of people were just like, no, this is not good. I don't really know why, because I haven't played it myself, and I have no personal experience with the game. I never bothered to. But reviews, critiques, everything, the game was a massive failure on like all fronts. Except unless you are Total Biscuit, because everybody knows that Total Biscuit is a huge advocate for that game. He loves it. And he will stick by that, and he defends it to the death because he thought it was really good. Anyway, the point is, Splash Damage created Dirty Bomb. And Dirty Bomb is essentially what the potential that Brink had brought into fruition. That sounded better in my head. I don't know if that makes sense. But essentially, all the potential that Brink had was turned into this game. And Dirty Bomb is the love child that was created from the mistakes and the positives of Brink. And it's now free to play, because the other problem with Brink was the fact that it was sold as an actual, like, full title. So, not that many people were into the idea of spending money on it. There's a lot more ease of access to Dirty Bomb compared to playing or buying and purchasing to play Brink. Like this, you could just, like I did, you know, I just installed it, I gave it a shot, and it was like, holy crap, this game's insanely fun. Brink, I probably would not want to buy, especially given all the negative reviews of it. So, in a nutshell, this game is really fun. It's a fast-paced Twitch shooter. It feels like a nice mix of, I want to say Counter-Strike, you know, like CSGO, Titanfall, because I want to say Titanfall just because there's wall jumping, but I guess you can also say that's more like Unreal Tournament, because Unreal Tournament has actual proper wall jumping. It's not so much as wall running like it shows in Titanfall, but it's like this mix of all these games, and the objectives and the game modes and the maps are really well designed. They play in such a fluid manner that it's insanely fun. Like, I am addicted right now, guys. I've been playing this non-stop since I started playing. The gameplay you're seeing now are like my first matches ever. And then I've been playing a lot. Like, I have recordings of me finally playing as the sniper mercenary and I'm just destroying all things. I will have like a little montage video of that coming out at some point in the future because it's insanely awesome. But everything about this game I've been enjoying immensely so far. And to talk about the business model itself, because I am a person who, I've talked about this in the past, I'm not a huge fan of free-to-play games. The only title that I actually accepted was Blacklight Retribution. That was a game I enjoyed because I thought the business model was fair, although tedious. It's one of those things that you have to like invest a crap load of time into, or you can just straight up buy the things you want to get access to right away. I'm not a fan of rental systems. That's one thing I talk about in free-to-play games that I absolutely despise is rental systems. That to me is utter bullshit. The idea that unless you pay real money, you cannot permanently own something. So say you want to get a particular weapon receiver, like an M4, right? Let's just think about that. You want to get an M4, if you're a free-to-play player, you can only use the in-game credits to rent it out for like 3, 5, or 7 days. That's like the old school model. Or if you pay real money, you permanently own it. That to me is, like I said, complete bullshit. You should be able to work hard enough, put enough time in to be able to purchase it with a lot of credits, of the in-game credits, and own it permanently. That's what Blacklight Retribution did. It allowed you to be able to spend the time to earn the credits to permanently own certain items. So of course, it's a lot longer, it's a lot more tedious, it's a lot more annoying, but at least you can play for free and end up owning everything in the game. It'll take you months to a year or more because it's insanely, like, they cut back on how much of the credits you earned, which is ridiculous. But the point is, it's feasible. In this particular game, the way they did things is a little interesting. And you essentially can purchase mercs, and these mercs have special abilities. Every merc is different. It's kind of like Team Fortress 2. That's why I was saying like it kind of reminded me of Team Fortress 2 because every single character has their own abilities, their own loadout systems, and it's like it works on a card system. So it's like cards dictate your loadout. You can't just buy a mercenary, buy the weapons and kit, and then customize it at will. It's not how it works. You buy the mercenary if you want to buy it with real money, which is the fastest way of doing it, or you have to earn like 50,000 or 30,000 depending on the quality of the merc you're trying to buy, of the in-game credits. And then once you unlock him, you can essentially open up cases that you acquire, or you can buy them straight up, or you can just go and buy the cards themselves. The point is you get cards that allow you to take certain loadouts. And depending on the quality of the card, it dictates exactly which perks or lack of perks that you have. So every single mercenary you own comes with a standard card, and that card has no perks whatsoever. It's just a simple, you can have a weapon and and you can shoot things and you have your abilities. That's it. Then it goes up to lead. Lead allows you to have 1 perk. And then you have iron, which lets you have 2 perks. And then you got bronze, which lets you have 3. And of course there's silver, gold, and cobalt. Those do nothing but merely change the cosmetic look of your character. It doesn't actually give you any other significant bonuses. So it's not like if you have cobalt, which is the highest one, suddenly your weapons do 10% more damage. There's nothing like that that imbalances gameplay. It simply changes the cosmetics. Bronze is perfectly fine because you have your 3 perks. Those 3 perks change drastically depending on the loadout or card that you have, because they're always different depending on the card that you get. So it's interesting because it's totally RNG. Like when you open a case, it's like it does the same thing as CSGO, where it just like cycles through and you get something and then boom, there's your loadout. It can be like a crappy shotgun that you don't even want, but suddenly the perks are good. And the perks are nothing that break gameplay. They're just simple little things like being able to reload quicker, or reload while running, or take less damage, or deal more explosive damage like through AoE, or anything like that. It's nothing that'll actually significantly alter the way the game plays and feels. If you have a lead card, or if you even have the simple default one with 0 perks, you'll still be able to go up against guys who have cobalt. Like, it's not like they have a significant advantage over you. It's very, very balanced. And where the money really goes is towards unlocking things quicker. That's it. It's like a speed up progression kind of, you're just paying for a speed boost. You either buy the mercs straight up, which is very simple to do, and you can actually buy the bronze cards themselves, like I said earlier, if you want to. And you can actually choose which ones you want specifically in that particular instance, which is like better than RNG. Or you can pay for credit boosts. and they last between, what is it, like an hour to like 12 hours, whatever, and it only affects when you're in game, so it's not like once you buy it, the countdown is always ticking. It only ticks down when you are playing in a game, which is a hell of a lot more fair. Even then, the prices are kind of steep in some areas, but the point is, it's not game-breaking, and it doesn't feel like a pay-to-win game at all, and it's very balanced, and it's insanely fun. And I mean, I'm happy with that, you know? Like, I'm really pleased with the direction this game went, and I'm pleasantly surprised with it. I think it's a really, really phenomenal shooter. It doesn't do anything significantly outstanding compared to a lot of games, but it does a phenomenal job at what it does, which is giving you insanely good team objective-based games to play with up to 8 versus 8, 7 versus 7, or 6 versus 6. There's a competitive scene because you got competitive games. It feels a lot like Counter-Strike in that sense, but more towards the arena shooter style. So, I don't know. I mean, definitely check it out. It's a fun game, and it's free, so you have absolutely no excuse not to at least attempt to try it, unless of course you have bandwidth caps and you've consumed like the vast majority of your bandwidth for the month, then maybe wait until next month, or somehow acquire it through other means, like download it go to an internet cafe and use up their bandwidth or something. I don't know. Don't actually do that. I don't even know if that'll work. But the point is, it's a solid game. It does what it does well. It's got objective game modes that are very team focused. Every single map is tailored specifically for the objective. So it's not like you're going to be playing the same maps with different objectives. They're all specifically designed around the game type you're playing, which is great because that's with that core focus in mind, it plays very fluidly. And it's an interesting and fast-paced twitch shooter. I mean, if you want to play a game that's going to increase your accuracy, how fast you can quickly acquire and engage targets like in games in general on PC, this game will do it. It'll definitely do it. Same thing with Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament's the same way, where you're playing fast-paced shooters where you need to be able to get those twitch shots. They will increase your hand-eye coordination and your accuracy overall in the game. So, check it out. It's worth looking into. My name's PepperBelly. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll see you guys on the next one.